Okay, we're gonna call the October 17th, 2024 Harahan City Council meeting to order. Madam Clerk, pledge please.
Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes.
Roll call. Councilman Asbill.
Present.
Councilman Buddy.
Present.
Councilman Chatelain.
Present.
Councilman Johnston.
Present.
Councilman Ricks.
Present.
Mayor Bodier.
Present.
Police Chief LaPree is absent. Fire Chief St. Cyr is absent. Finance Director Todd Turnion.
Present.
City Attorney Scott Stansberry.
Present.
Myself, Carrie Hughes, clerk, is present. Mayor's announcements.
Okay, I'm gonna forego my mayor's announcements because we have a FEMA update tonight here, so.
Move to amend the agenda to add new business number 5, high content OBO for Oak Oven Restaurant.
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Councilman Asbill to add to the agenda new business number 5, ABO high content license. All in favor?
Yay.
Nay.
All right, the agenda is amended for,
No, it's not. I voted nay. It's got to be unanimous to amend the agenda.
okay, all right. All right, so the agenda is not amended.
Can you make the announcement that it's not going to be considered tonight?
You wanna make the announcement?
Yeah, he's here.
Oh. Okay, so the ABO content is not gonna be heard on the agenda tonight because we're trying to take it from the floor. And with one nay, we cannot take it from the floor.
So basically, we'll put it up on the agenda for next month.
Yes, it'll be on the agenda for next month. Sorry.
Yeah.
Councilman, vote against consent.
So this is for the,
Mike's not.
we'll talk about it next month.
You can be here.
Ready? Move it on. Okay, special presentations. Hurricane Ida FEMA update with Donovan Duffy.
Hey, good evening. Donovan Duffy with Meyer Engineers. Mayor Bodier asked me to come by and give an update on the progress we're making with FEMA on all the Hurricane Ida repairs, especially the fire station. So, just to give a little history of timeline of all the reports that we've done. So, dating back to August 29th, 2021, when Ida hit, the first insurance report was provided from the insurance adjuster on October 13th, 2021. Meyer was contracted with Harahan to perform independent damage assessments, create a DAR report, damage assessment report to submit to FEMA, validating the insurance claims, insurance damages, plus any other. That report was finalized in November of 2021. At that point, because we were claiming this building to be in the 50% rule for the fire station, FEMA requested we do a code and standards report, which was completed in August of 2022. At that point, FEMA was then disputing the claim of both us as licensed engineers, architects, and the insurance adjuster's report that the roof was not substantially damaged and could have been repaired and didn't have to be replaced. We then prepared a stamped structural roof damage assessment, which is also provided in August of 2022. And finally, FEMA asked us, or approved us to move forward with completing a 50-50 analysis, which requires you to show what it would cost for a repair of the building and then a replacement in kind, same square footage, same rooms and everything, up to that to build a brand new building. That was given to them on January, February, March, April 17th of 2023. So we're about 18 months past that. And we're still going back and forth with them on getting that 50-50 analysis approved. I believe we're on our third program manager with FEMA. They rotate them in and out. The new one we do have does seem like he's wanting to move things along. Had some emails going back and forth with them today. So not great news to provide, but at least we're getting some movement. Some of the things they're still disputing are the the square footage of the existing versus proposed. Other things that we've had issues with is because the building is damaged, to get an occupancy, damage to the level it is, to get occupancy, if we were to even repair the building, we would have to bring the entire building up to code, this fire station. The existing stairway to get up to the second floor of the fire station does not meet code. We also don't have a secondary means of egress from upstairs. We'd have to add that to open the fire station back up to the public, or back open for the firemen. So we've gone back and forth with FEMA numerous times, but I believe we're getting to the finish line for them to declare it 50%. You know, to speak to the lack of timeliness, unfortunately, I can say for a fact that the city of Harahan is not alone in this. We work with the city. We're working with the city of Kenner, especially for their city halls A and B. On Williams, they're in the same boat with the 50% ruling. Lafitte, Jefferson Parish School System down on Lafitte, Fisher High School, they've had an architect, not us, but an architect's been selected for 2 years, and they can't move forward with doing any demolition of the building because of this FEMA holdup. So, I do think we're progressing, but obviously not at the pace that anybody would like. And if you go forward without getting in writing from FEMA any of this, that's at your own risk. Until FEMA tells you and gives you that, that signed paperwork that they approve it, if you move forward, it's at your own risk. But I guess I would open up to any questions.
Yeah. Oh, good.
I have a couple of questions. Thank you for that information.
Yeah, no problem.
And for your work. Couple of questions. You discussed the percentage. Where are we currently with FEMA? Where is FEMA?
So that's the other thing, is that they're not quick to give us their numbers. They're just quick to keep asking more questions. So this last report, in our 50% analysis, we've provided them an estimate for what we believe as architects to bring it up to code, to bring the existing building up to code. You'd have to add square footage to the space to make the space ADA compliant. We prepared that repair estimate and a true replacement. Both of those were, I think, $2 million for repair and right under $4 million for replacement. And then FEMA didn't like the architect's estimate. They wanted us to use RS means. So we have two estimates floating out there. The other one is if you just take insurance, verified damages. So what the insurance company is giving verbatim, it's 1.1 million. You'd have to take out overhead and profit for their calculation. That puts you back down to $995,000 for repair. And then you utilize RS means for the estimating for replacement. That replacement estimate is 1.87 million. So that puts us at right around 58%. And that's what we've sent back to FEMA the other day. Part of the frustrating thing is, we're telling them, look, we're just giving you what our insurance company is saying it's going to cost to repair the building. I know for a fact that if we go to try to repair that building, insurance estimate's going to be low. I mean, we've repaired 30 buildings since I, and insurance estimates are always low when you're publicly bidding things. But even just so, taking those exact numbers and the exact RS mean spreadsheet they do, we're still above the 50%.
So the square footage increase is because of the bringing it up safety code?
Yes, sir. So for the replacement estimate, we're just going back with exactly what's there square footage. So currently, if they have a sleeping quarters and per code or per guidelines, you would need a men's and women's sleeping quarters. We're not even addressing that at this point. We're just saying the existing utilized square feet of the building is 12,000 square feet, and the replacement cost estimate through RS means is at 12,000 square feet.
Okay. And one other question, and it's really directed to the mayor. Where would, assuming we're successful, and hopefully we will be, where would the new fire station be constructed?
As of now, it's going to be back where it is.
Okay,
I mean,
so
we are
it'll be
looking
a-
for alternate sites, but we really don't want to add more confusion to FEMA, because if we do rebuild it with FEMA funds, we'll need permission to build in an alternate location. We'd love to build it in an alternate location. The fire chief and I are both on the same page with that. But again, we are looking at options, but it has to really be FEMA
FEMA's
because,
got to approve the ultimate location
the alternate location. And
on a new facility?
what we're
Okay.
thinking is that once we go to build this thing, we have to find a temporary location anyway. So why not kind of use just the Bay Areas as a temporary location and build a new location? One way or the other, it's going to cost some kind of money. And we're trying to, really mitigate that expense as best we can and try to make it better for the city as well, because we do know honestly where the fire department station is. There's a prime piece of property that really could have some good commercial investment opportunity there. Fire chief is certainly on page with that. So,
What are some of the possible locations?
well, we're really considering right now the exit out of Generis, coming just basically right across the street from where they are, because it still keeps them centrally located in the city, and the fire station does have to be at a particular spot from corner to corner to corner, if you will. I know we don't have corners, but we have to be in that kind of spot right there. So we are looking at that, and we do know there might be some other issues there, maybe some making sure pump to river piping in underneath it. We don't think there is, but we're just going to look at it and make sure. But we're certainly investigating for sure.
Thank you for the information. Thank you for the update.
No problem.
Couple quick questions for you. So, to my knowledge, we've got city personnel working on this. We've got Meyer, we've got Deloitte out there somewhere. There's another architect, perhaps, that's drawing up some estimates, insurance adjusters, FEMA, GOSEP, all these people. And 38 months later, we're still at 49 to 57%. Has any of that holdup been, not any, in the last 18 months since the April 2023 estimate, has any of that holdup been on the city's end of things?
No.
It's just FEMA trying to get their crap
Correct,
together?
yeah. Deloitte has calls, so the city's public assistance is Deloitte. They were contracted through GOSEP, through the state. So they have weekly or bi-weekly calls with FEMA. At this point, we have a PDMG at FEMA, so, program manager from them. And then once you get into this 50/50, they have to send it up to a CRC, who's their technical staff. So this has been in the CRC and program manager's hands since 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They ask questions, we answer them. They ask different questions, we answer them.
Is there any kind of, and I know you've asked, is there any kind of scoring that they have that we can see? So, for example, your kids go to school, they write an essay, they get a rubric before they write that essay. Is there a rubric
So
that they're using?
Deloitte finally had pressed them because they kept telling, they kept saying that we're right on the edge, our calculation's coming up right below 50%. We finally pushed them and asked, well, can you send, we've given you all of our calculations, can you give them back to us so we can review,
Right.
see where the discrepancies are. We do finally have a spreadsheet with that. We were emailing back and forth today, actually. Their current repair estimate was down at $675,000 as opposed to $925, and they have the spreadsheet that that gives us the discrepancies. So I pushed that back today, saying all we're doing is certifying that the insurance claims are the damaged components. The insurance adjuster's report is from Xactimate, which is a approved program through FEMA. And we're now trying to schedule a call with the CRC. So we talked to the program manager, but now we have to bring it to the next level of CRC. The GOSEP staff is now, we've tried to escalate this, expedite it to the GOSEP staff, and they are now being copied on all emails and trying to assist with pushing this thing through.
Yeah, because, and I know the answer to this, it's not possible, but If the federal government wants to come in and build or repair a new station or build a new station for that amount of money, and they can do it, they got contractors to do it, come on and come do it. Or tell us, as a city, you're on your own, go figure it out, so that we can go do that. We need an answer at some point from FEMA, what they're going to do. Because we can't have these guys 38 months later, sitting in a rundown double wide. No offense, but it's not meant for those operations,
Nope.
right? It's not meant for that kind of traffic. We've already had to replace the roof on the trailer. We've got to replace walls inside the trailer. It's not necessary. The guys were not in the trailer during the last storm. They were in the bay.
Yeah, basically, because we called anyone in a mobile home,
Right,
evacuate from your mobile home, we have a hurricane coming, parish of Jefferson,
right.
and we have our firemen homed in a mobile home.
Look, so we've got Myers and Deloitte, great companies, highly paid companies. Are those fees recoverable from the FEMA or GOSEP claim?
So, yes, Deloitte through GOSEP is getting paid, or Deloitte is getting paid directly through GOSEP. The program management fees are capped at 5% of the full FEMA claim. So that's where Deloitte is getting paid from.
Okay.
Any of our fees would be once FEMA actually dedicates or, approves a program, a project for, and says you have this much money to spend. At that point, FEMA would then pay any engineering fees associated with that design. Yeah, so there's fees that have stacked up that.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I have one other question that I just thought of. I've heard a couple of numbers, I think. One is a new fire station is going to cost $4 million. But then I heard you say there's a $600,000 some odd dollars repair estimate. Double that would be, and FEMA's fighting about that at 50%. That'd be $1.2 million.
Correct. So
that-
what we're trying to go to FEMA right now with is just to put it in as simple terms as possible and get this building approved at 50%, is we're taking the insurance numbers. Our insurance adjuster was 1.12 million. You back out overhead and profit, you're left with 995,000 for repair. So 995,000, and then you utilize RS means, which you put in, stories you put in fire station, number of stories, building type, and then the square footage, and this program automatically spits out, a full detailed list of every component and what that cost is. You back out overhead and profit on that cost is at 1.8. So 995 to 1.8 gives us right around
That's the
54%.
50.
We as engineers and architects, we know that you cannot, one, repair that building for 995,000, and number two, build a new fire station for 1.8 million. But once FEMA approves that 50% analysis, you open up secondary pots of money. You can add in contractor overhead and profit. You can add in things for code upgrades. So all of that gets, once the initial one is
And so that
awarded.
gets you closer to the $4 million.
Correct. And then
Okay,
if
thank
you
you.
follow the full FEMA process through, so that's another caveat of switching sites. Typically, if you build it back on the site, and you build it the exact same square footage, FEMA would pay for, and prove to them throughout the process that we're building exactly what was there before, FEMA would pay for whatever the bids come back in. If you take that money and whether it's moving sites or doing an alternate project, whatever that initial dollar amount is that's approved in that 50% rule, they're cutting you a check for that and saying, good luck building your fire station. So that's one other thing to consider once we do get this.
I have a question. So 5% of the overall goes to Deloitte. And then you said your fee schedule is outside of this whole realm, so you don't get a percentage, you get a direct payment?
So we would get a percentage of the design fees for the actual design of the building. So Deloitte gets a 5% fee for program, for, what, PA work, so public assistance work.
Can we-
That's 5% of everything. And then in addition to that, FEMA pays for architectural and engineering fees as well. So
What
those are
about
not
all
factored in yet.
So I
Time
guess,
you spent
yeah.
getting to this point, really not related to quote construction, although you'll have a pretty good idea of what
Correct.
needs to be done. How do you recover your money there?
So all of that is reimbursable through
Right.
FEMA. Correct, yes.
So
Yes,
the
sir.
city, that's what I was getting to. So the city won't be out of pocket. Or
Correct.
have additional funds going to Meyer Engineering, it's all coming from the FEMA funds.
Correct, yes, sir. And we've invoiced to date, but we still haven't, y'all are still waiting to get approval to pay us, and we're perfectly fine with that. I mean, we understand that, we want this thing approved as badly as y'all do.
So besides the fire station, any other big projects that we're waiting on in the city? Anybody?
I know the only other one that we were heavily involved with was the sports complex and the roof on that building. I'm not sure if that had been settled or not, but I believe that was the only other one that we were involved with. Yeah.
And I have a question for you, speaking of projects. On Jefferson Highway, there across from the country club in that back corner, considerably floods every time we have a heavy rain. I think you guys were, am I correct, doing a study, or somebody else is doing that study?
We got the study done. Study is done.
All right, and are we engineering something to fix that?
We are, we have.
Okay, all right, that was my question. Myers is not?
No, no.
Okay.
That was Dino helped us out on that one, and
Okay.
so Dino was instrumental in selecting.
Okay. Got it.
And the whole reason I asked for this to be added to the agenda is because at some point, citizens have questions for us. We don't really have the answers. Somebody has to answer to the people, whether it's some bureaucrat sitting in Baton Rouge, some bureaucrat sitting in Reston, Virginia, for FEMA, an engineer. Somebody has to start answering questions so that we can be held accountable to the public. And so from here on out, every month, until this is finished, I want somebody to give some update. I'm going to invite everybody. I'm going to invite the guys who are working the stuff with GOSEP and FEMA to come give an update. They can come cover their own ass if they want to. That's what we're trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do. And if they don't come, I'll email the next person up. I don't care. Somebody needs to come, give an update on where we are in this process every month until we finish it out. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's
And
not a house that's made on Hickory. Is it structurally, should be torn down, or can it be repaired?
Well, that's the determination that
If
FEMA's,
you remember, a couple of years ago, Barbara Biancara and I went and inspected the place, and I bet you y'all never, I told y'all what was wrong, had everything down, and I bet you y'all never went and checked this out and see if you were telling the truth and corrected the problem then.
Tell me what day you went there? How long ago?
Huh?
How long ago you went there, to the fire station?
Man, I bet you it's better than 5 years. You were probably
So,
on a con.
so before, you went before the hurricane?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little bit different.
Inspected the place and it needed a lot of work done on it then.
And it's a lot worse now.
Well, yeah.
So
because
some of the
y'all probably
repairs,
didn't take
some of the
care
repairs were made,
no, there was a hurricane that had a lot to do with it.
and then we had a natural disaster, hurricane. And so if the building is structurally sound right now,
Right.
but you can't do the work and get the building back up to code for less than 50%, no one's gonna fund you to do the building. So if there's more than 50% damage, they're gonna probably force you to build a new building. They're not gonna allow you to make repairs because you need to bring everything up to the new building codes now.
And more than building codes, ADA code, fire code. They have a code for fire departments on the specs that need to be built for those, different bunk areas,
And they
different shower
changed too.
areas. Yeah,
When
and
that
they
fire
changed.
station was built, you didn't have the code you have now. So to bring that one up to the new standards, which they're gonna make you do, is it worth fixing or is it tear down? That's his job, that's what he's working to
Well,
figure
that's
out.
why I asked, is the building itself structurally sound enough to invest the money to upgrade what needs to
We
be?
don't-
My opinion, no. That's my opinion.
That's what I'm saying. I wonder if y'all inspect, when we went
But,
to inspect.
but look,
I'm not an inspector,
I don't
neither
have,
are you.
Yeah, I don't have a license to inspect, just like you don't have one. So I'm not making that assessment. That's these professionals.
I have 2 eyes and I can see it, and we told y'all everything that we found. And hey, we were only lay people that went and inspected it.
100% right. You're lay people that went and inspected it. There's professional engineers who go to a lot of college and have a lot of degrees and insurance to back up their decisions when they make a decision for that. If you want to go ahead and say, let's sign off on that, and you got enough money to back that and self-insure yourself to do that project, I'll go talk to the state and see if we can get you to do it, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Thank you. Don.
Thanks, Donovan. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Madam Clerk.
Approval of minutes, reading of the minutes of the council meeting on September 19th, 2024.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the minutes from September 19th? We have a motion by
Move to
Councilman
dispense with the
Chatelain.
reading.
Thank you.
We have a motion by Councilman Chatelain, second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yay.
Yeah.
Okay, 5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk.
Approval of the minutes of the council meeting on September 19th,
We have
2024.
a motion by Councilman Chatelain to approve those minutes. We'll now open for public hearing. Anyone who would speak for or against those minutes? No one coming forth.
Second.
We'll now close public hearing. We have a second by Councilman Ricks to approve those minutes. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk.
Communications, reading of the minutes of the planning and zoning meeting on October 2nd, 2024.
We can have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes from the
20 minutes.
planning and zoning meeting on October 2nd. We have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Buddy. We'll open for public hearing. No one coming forth. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk.
Approval of the minutes of the planning and zoning meeting on October 2nd, 2024.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Riggs. We'll now have a public hearing on the meetings, planning and zoning meetings from October 2nd. No
Second.
one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing. We have a second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk.
Resolutions. Proposed Resolution 2024-13. The following resolution was offered by Councilman Chatelain, a resolution of the City of Harahan Council authorizing the operation of bingo games at the Harahan Senior Center.
Okay, we're open for public hearing. Anyone want to speak on proposed resolution number 2024-13? No one coming forward. We'll now close public hearing. Council discussion.
Just one question on the page where they got, on number 3, it says persons over 60. I thought it was 50. Is it over 60?
I'm not sure on that one.
Number 3 at the bottom, shall be unlawful for persons to hold any operation raffles. And the third, it says group of persons 60 years of age or older.
It's 60
I thought it
because
was 50.
it's 50 to be a member of the senior center, but as far as the
State law,
council,
it's 60.
as far as the council on aging and governor's
It's
office of elder
60?
affairs, it's 60.
Okay, I
Yeah.
wasn't sure, that's why I asked. Thank you.
And the reason we put this, we questioned state law if they could do it or not. That's the reason we had to
That's
add
fine. I
this in
just
there,
wanted to
just
ask.
to
I knew it was something with 50.
document why we put it in there.
That's fine. I just wanted to ask the question.
I have a question on section 2 where it says all proceeds from bingo games shall be used to support the programs. That's not where I was going. It's the one up,
Charitable?
line 34. No individual or entity shall receive personal profits from the operation except for reasonable compensation to individuals and entities. Who are those people who would get reasonable compensation to run bingo?
Well, that should be, I would guess it would go back to the city because you're at Harahan Senior Center running the bingo.
Be the senior center itself.
I mean, we run it as the city of Harahan since it's a city Harahan facility now.
Right,
Senior
but we're
centers-
not a council on aging.
No, yeah, but it is our senior center. Council on Aging, we follow their guidelines.
Right.
We run our senior center.
But the state law says it has to be done through the council on aging. It's got to be sanctioned by the council on aging,
The
Sanctioned
bingo?
by or run through?
sanctioned
Well,
by.
we get a sanction from the Council on Aging.
I'm sorry, Councilman Asbill, what has to be sanctioned by the council on aging?
Proceeds from bingo games.
Bingo at senior centers have to be sanctioned by the local council on aging.
We can get an opinion from them. I'm sure they don't have a problem with it.
And then, so who's gonna run the bingo? Who makes the money from the bingo?
City of Harahan, City of Harahan.
Okay.
Well, it said, on line 34, it says, I'm sorry, 33, it says recreational and charitable purposes only. And then on line 36 and 7, it says for the senior center. So they kind of don't say the same thing. And I'm fine with the program, assuming we can get all the approvals we need. I just think we need to be clear as to what are the funds going to be used for? I'd like to know who's going to run it. Are we going to rent people to run it? I know a lot of charities,
No,
third-party
I
contract.
think
Yeah, we run it ourselves.
I think we misunderstand this. Seniors play bingo for fun. They get the cards, they might have 20, 30, 40 seniors coming. It's not people from outside the senior center coming there. It's not like you go to the VFW where
Right.
they have bingos. It's just seniors are having bingos.
We don't have approval for that.
I didn't know why we did this, but that's what y'all want to do, that's
Can I
fine.
have something to say about
But the
that?
No, ma'am.
bingo's
You can-
being
please.
played by the
About the
seniors.
bingo games?
No, when we open for public hearing, well, we've already opened this for public hearing.
So I mean, but y'all want to do, that's fine. Y'all want to do it this way, but
Kerry,
there's
why
no
did
big
we-
money made on this. It's just
Yeah,
for the
why did we
seniors to
push
play
this?
that bingo. And they go in there and play bingo,
So,
they
Mayor, do you
call the
just
numbers.
because the-
having
No, we do not, it's just for seniors only.
fundraisers?
That's just for seniors
I
only.
think that
So
this
this
was
is
just
just-
because
just
they were questioning
recreational?
if they had to
Basic
be like
recreational.
state
We don't need-
licensed.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
we will,
That's the reason this was brought
Right,
up.
we were
Because
questioning
they
state
do it
license.
now, and they question if they had to have license.
Not if it's not for money.
That's my deal. If no one's making a profit,
I said, you want to do this? When I saw this, I questioned, but do it. It makes everybody feel
No,
happy.
who questions whether we need to be licensed or whatever?
the
The girls at the,
they'll run it, yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry.
They
Who's
were
doing
trying to make sure
Who's
the
questioning?
director of the senior center, Christie, and they just want to make sure that they were doing everything right, so it wouldn't be questioned somewhere back along the line. But if it's
they
something
were,
that,
they were under the impression that they didn't have to have state license as long as they had council approval.
if
To
they're
run the
doing
games.
this and no one's making money,
No,
they don't need a license.
that's why I wanted to tell y'all.
Then you should have come
Ma'am,
up during the
we-
public
we-
hearing. I
we
move to
opened it
reopen
up
the public hearing.
Public hearing.
All right, open public here, come on up.
Second.
y'all want to go home tonight?
Reopen.
Yay. Yay. Real public,
Yeah,
yay.
You got 2 minutes, Ms. Majine.
It's not fun getting old, I can tell y'all.
It sounded like it's fun. You get to play
Okay.
bingo all day. And I go play bingo.
I'm one of those people that's gonna be running the bingo, okay?
Nay.
We go down to the pink house and play bingo that used to be in Harahan. We pay 18 games, $2 a card,
This is for money.
and all the money is given out at the game. Not a penny of it's kept for
Correct.
us.
So nobody makes, you
If
guys
we-
get a couple of dollars.
Everything's
Right.
given back to that
In
night.
other
No
words,
organization's making
if
money,
we collect
so it does not need state
$200
approval.
Of
Because
cards,
money,
people playing cards, some people play full cards, which is $8, okay? So we take the money that people pay the cards for the 18 games, say we have $200, and we divide that into how many games we play, and that's how much is in each pot. Each game plays $10 maybe. That's all they can play. If they got a split, 2 people play bingo and they win, they each get $5. Wednesday, when we went to the Pink House and played, which is for Harahan, they had 4 people won one pot.
Oh, Lord.
So their pots were $12. So they only got $3 apiece.
It's just for recreation.
So-
But we don't keep any of the
It's
money.
100% recreation.
I think-
If no organization is making money, if they collect in $30 and
I
they
hear
give
you.
out all $30 as winning, they don't need state approval,
I
they don't
think-
need
I
council
think-
approval, they don't need anything.
I'm fine with going forward with this or
don't
not.
disagree.
But if there's money involved, the state statute will probably address that. I think we ought to be seeing what the statute says, and if it,
I think that's attached.
if.
Yeah,
if it-
so the statute says
That should be in your,
it's unlawful to hold games of chance, which is a bingo, except for those operated by civic or service organizations.
That's a service organization.
Who is?
The senior
Senior
center,
center.
service
Okay,
organization.
the Pink House plays bingo on Tuesday,
Senior services.
and Harahan
The senior
plays
center's a
bingo
building.
on Wednesday down
Yeah, the
there.
organization.
There's no organization.
And you pay $2 a card
All right, senior
for the
center.
18 games, and the last
I
game
wasn't
is
right.
blackout.
There ain't no way I wasn't
And all
Harry
the
Senior
money is
Center
spent
Inc., right?
out of each game that you play. You collect $200 on this game.
Well,
Then you s-
there's only two of us up here that can
Yeah.
play bingo at the
We
senior
don't
center.
keep track
Right,
of
Tommy?
There you go.
There's only two of us, so. Mike's not there yet.
Maybe y'all would have to come play bingo, and so y'all would understand what I'm trying to say. Barbara
we
was
get it.
gonna
We
come
do
tonight,
understand.
We get
Thank
it.
you for the
and we
clarification.
Thank
wasn't
you.
even gonna talk
We,
about
we,
it.
we got, Miss, we got you.
I guess.
We got it.
So
Hold this.
if the purpose is to,
I'll leave it in.
Yeah, I don't know. This was.
cover our butt, and the state law is not clear, it's, well, reading it, we probably need to meet the guidelines of the state law. But I think what we're saying in lines 33 through 35 or 36 don't really say what we just said. That they're going to have bingo games that will not generate any profit, and no one's going to be paid.
Right, we don't
So
give,
that's what we're being asked to approve.
I feel like they were getting pushback.
Bingo
from
games,
Pink House, which is
seniors
why
are going to
this came about in the
participate.
first place.
I don't think we need to address money.
I'm gonna make a motion to defer this resolution, and we're gonna find out the details on why they asked to bring this up.
In the meantime, Senior Center, keep doing what you're doing.
Keep doing what you're doing.
let me explain something
It sounds like the
else.
girls were getting pushback from somewhere else.
Yeah,
When
That's
we
why
go-
they asked
I
about
mean,
doing
when it says here, no,
Recreational and charitable,
but when it says here, no individual entity shall receive personal profits from the operation of bingo games except for reasonable compensation to individuals or entities authorized by the law. So, what I'm saying is, if there's no individual, it's not a profit.
No
it's-
one's making a profit.
Right, nobody's making a profit. So that is the key word there.
Unless we were paying people.
We're not hiring somebody to run the bingo, we're doing it like
Right.
ourselves.
It don't matter to me if we pass this, if we pull this, I think they could run their organization the same way they
I
doing
agree
it
with
now. If we pass this, it's
I agree
fine.
with
If
you.
we don't pass it, it's fine.
I'm willing to vote on it. I don't think we needed it, but
I'll make a motion, call for, close the
I
public
wanna-
hearing.
I want to ask you
Second.
something else.
second.
We do not have any
Call for the
bingo
vote.
cards.
Call for the vote, man.
Our bingo cards were taken down to Pink House and they kept them.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we don't have any bingo cards.
May, you need to make the call. We
Got
need
it.
to get our stuff back
So
from
now we
there.
don't have, and they won't give them back. They said they're down there and they
Yeah,
can.
well,
Let them stay there. We
Call
got, we'll get some,
911.
we'll get some new ones.
So we don't have any bingo cards.
I got
Okay,
you.
we'll get it, we'll take care of
I
it,
got
Ms. Majine. All right,
Thank
we're
you,
gonna
Ms.
call for the
Majine.
vote. Okay, all in favor?
No, this is the
Wait.
vote to
All
close
in
public
favor of what?
hearing.
Close
Oh, we're
public.
gonna close public hearing?
Second.
Yeah, all right, all in favor, all right. All in
right.
favor on proposed resolution number
I have a
2024?
proposed amendment, if we
Oh, you
may.
got a proposed amendment?
I'm gonna amend to add section 5 to say something along the lines of request that the mayor replace bingo supplies at the Harahan Senior Center
it. Yes.
that were stolen by the Pink House.
Perfect. All right,
Don't say stolen.
okay.
If they won't give them back to you, they stole it.
I know that.
I move my amendment.
Anyway.
I'll second
Is
that.
that serious?
All right, we'll
It's-
second.
you
All right,
see
all in favor on Jason Asbill's amendment?
Yeah,
Yay, 5 yeas, 0 nays. Okay, now can we vote on the ordinance as amended?
Move to approve as amended.
All right, we have a
Wait.
motion by Councilman
Wait.
Asbill, second Councilman Buddy to
No, no,
approve.
No, I'm not seconding it. I'm talking about the reasonable compensation. I mean, if we're approving a not-for-profit, nobody's making money on that, then I'd like to take out
Okay.
the words on line 34, comma, except for reasonable compensation to individuals or entities authorized by law.
Second.
That's fine.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Buddy, second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor of the,
Second amendment.
You got that, Chuck?
is there a second?
Yay,
No, but I can
5
walk it
yeas,
back.
0 nays. Okay, y'all ready to vote on the ordinance?
Move to approve.
as amended.
We got proposed resolution number 2024-13 as amended. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk, thank you.
Y'all gonna buy bingo cards too?
Absolutely.
Yes.
They're gonna use that
Got
TV
that
screen
big
that they
TV.
have on there.
All right,
All right, Madam Clerk?
Ready?
So
Moving
y'all
on.
gonna buy the parts too?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes, ma'am.
Good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Madam Clerk?
Ordinances for approval. Proposed ordinance number 2024-16. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain and seconded by Councilman
I'm gonna talk
I'll
about
second
that
it.
now.
Ricks. An ordinance declaring 2 Ford Crown Victoria police vehicles as surplus and authorizing their donation to the Roseland Police Department.
Okay, we have a motion, we'll now open for public hearing. Anyone want to speak on proposed ordinance number 2024-16?
Is that about those,
no, it's not,
property?
this is police.
That's not coming up tonight.
This is
That's just
police
first
No,
reading.
because I want to talk about that.
Well, that's gonna be
All
next
right,
month.
all right.
Next one?
Next
Next
month.
Public
month.
hearing's now
Next
closed.
month.
All in favor?
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, let's have discussion. Oh, closing the meeting? I'm
Yeah, we're
sorry.
closing that.
Thank you, I'm sorry. Yay.
I gotta see that.
All right, close public hearing. Now council discussion.
Yeah, and this is just a question, I'm fine with going forward with this, but, you know, I've read somewhere that the city can't give anything away. But I know in the past, Harahan has received,
I heard that yesterday at the parish council meeting.
you were there?
I heard
Or you
it.
just,
I did.
but, so, can we do this? I mean, I know we've received contributions
That's
from
why
the
we need to
sheriff's
do it through
department.
ordinance.
Right. Is
Well,
it-
you can't give anything away, it's against the
We
law.
can give it to another public entity.
That's what I'm trying to
And we can't give it to a
understand.
private entity.
Right, we can give it to another public.
Public entity, okay, okay, thank you.
Guys,
Appreciate that.
if they need 2 of our used cars, they're desperate.
I know, and I'm fine with the donation. I'm glad we can help somebody.
And it
we've been
helps
helping.
us alleviate our insurance bill.
Yeah, so there is a benefit to us. There you
Yes.
go. We'll count
Well,
it.
I
We'll
could
count
go
it.
out there with a screwdriver, take a bunch of plates off of vehicles.
Right.
And do the same thing,
Insurance is-
and we ought to be. If they're parked, we ought to get the plates off. Okay, so
Move to
I
approve.
propose that we
Mr. Buddy, move.
vote
All right, all in favor?
20, yay,
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk?
we voted on the ordinance.
To donate the cars.
2416, Paul, if I'm
Oh, okay, all right, all right.
You good?
This the next one's a good one.
Proposed ordinance number 2024-17. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain and seconded by Councilman, who would like that one? Asbill. An ordinance to place stop signs on Hickory Avenue at 9th Street.
Okay, we'll open for public hearing. No one coming forth.
Move for the vote.
It looks like I'm gonna be standing up here.
Yeah, you might as well just stay.
Yeah,
We're
we'll
gonna
get you a
give you a
seat.
seat. Can everybody push on down one? We're just gonna give her a seat right up here with us.
I can tell y'all before who I was. My name is Maggie Tesnick, 46 Oak Avenue. Why are we putting up a stop sign on Hickory and 9th Street? Do you know that's gonna cause a disaster?
We not.
Oh, we're not.
We already have a disaster there. We've already had 3 life-threatening accidents probably in the last couple of months, and we trying to come up with some solutions on what can we do there. So this was just an idea that we floated up to get discussion going, because we do have to do something. Something has to happen.
Is that gonna still stay, right-hand turn?
We're trying to figure it out
Ms.
now.
Maygene, it's gonna stay just like it is for now. Someone asked me to put up this ordinance, so we agreed to put up this ordinance. I don't think it's gonna pass. I believe it's gonna fail,
Yeah.
but we had to put the ordinance up because someone asked.
Yeah, because I said, gee, then that's gonna cause, all the traffic's gonna be backed up for miles.
I
I
agree.
mean, honestly, that's what stop signs do. It makes people slow down, and nobody's slowing down. That's the problem. No one paid attention to any other traffic signals.
And I think, that's,
I mean, we don't know. We're just trying to get thought going, a thought process going here, because something has to be done.
Okay.
well, the
Take
state,
a motion to close public.
This,
Second.
this has been a disaster since that street's been put there. Again, I know you don't hear it. That street was put there when I was mayor.
Right.
And the first accident they had was George Ackle.
Yeah.
Oh,
The first, I think it was the first week the street was open, George Ackle had a wreck on the corner.
when he was doing the bypass.
I don't have any
to hit
clue.
At that point, it was two-way though.
It was a
was a
two-way
two-way
street at the
street
time.
before, I knew
And
that.
we changed it to a one-way street going out of the city.
Right.
That has been a problem street for years, but by putting a stop sign there isn't going to solve it. It's going to back the traffic up going out. That street is a lot of traffic goes out of the city, and you're going to have a line backed up going out if a stop sign's
Well,
put there.
somebody mentioned to me that they were gonna make that street another two-way street.
No, you can't.
I said, that doesn't make sense.
No, we had a two-way street when we first put it
Right.
in, but we changed it to a one-way street because we had nothing but problem when it was a two-way street.
Yeah, I remember that.
Ms. Majin, just to say that on that pass-through where it hits the new Dickory, I asked the state, because there was so many problems there, to get involved, and they have done some considerable stuff to
Yeah.
make that intersection safer, and it's been working pretty well.
Did they put an exit
Mike,
stop
did
sign,
they
big one?
put a lighted-
Signs?
Stop sign?
No, they
figured out?
narrowed it down to one lane coming
I
to
saw
that
that, the
sign,
white-
and then they put some, some new stop signs and some, some
Well,
signs
as
that,
long as they don't make it a two-way street again. 'cause I-
no, ma'am.
We
that's
did
not-
that.
Yeah, it's not gonna.
The city, that's our street,
Yeah.
and the city did that.
Dickory
And
does
then when
not
it was so
belong,
bad,
that's
we
right.
turned it back to one-way street going out.
Okay.
Okay.
The city controls that street.
Okay?
And I think the bigger problem is that if we, as the city grows, we're going to have a lot of problems right there.
It's been
And I
problems.
think because you're going to have, as Colonial develops, people leaving the area, you're going to have more traffic through that intersection.
Hopefully they'll complete
Well,
Dickory one day,
Yeah, when they,
you know? When they complete Dickory, it'll
When
might help.
Dickory comes through, then we take the stop sign
Make a
down,
motion to call for a vote.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, nay.
nay,
Nay.
All in favor?
nay.
All opposed?
Nay.
Yeah, we all against.
They're all opposed. 0-5, it fails. And just for the council's awareness, I've put a different ordinance up for next month for the same intersection,
What is that?
for a different solution.
What
is that?
How about a flashing yield?
Tonal?
So it's it's a roundabout, I'm kidding. It's a flashing stop sign on 9th Street, and it's overhead caution lights on Hickory.
Yeah, I'd vote for that.
Yeah, so
That might help.
it might help, but,
So
and,
people,
and no parking 10 feet off the street within 100 feet of the intersection, because they're building that new building right there across from, at Dawson's property. If they park in the front of that, you won't be able to see traffic
When the
coming.
construction workers park there. it's a
Yeah,
Yeah, that might help.
so I've got that up for next month for approval, so if you
Councilman, so
would,
you would have, I'm on north-south on Hickory, I'd have a flashing yellow light
flash in yellow
and,
on eastbound 9th, crossing Hickory, so next to Dawson and,
Yes.
yep,
East Bank 9th,
yep, you'll have a flashing stop sign.
right.
And then no parking on both sides of Hickory within 100 feet of the intersection.
And I wasn't aware that we were having problems with that intersection.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna,
So
I'm
we
just,
having accidents at 9th and Hickory?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
I know we were having accidents
Had one.
from Dickory
Yeah.
and
Both.
9th.
And both.
Okay.
Yeah, but-
Thank you.
but I do want to say that in proposing that we have to make sure that the people there meet their parking regulations imposed by
Yeah.
us, of course, on those properties, because
Well-
if you do that, you may impede on parking.
Yeah, but 10 feet should be the right-of-way.
Right.
Well,
So
I get it,
we
but I'm
can
just
take the
saying,
right-of-way back.
Make sure that
Yeah.
we're not.
I didn't even know
And-
Councilman Asbill was a traffic engineer. I just learned that
I
tonight.
didn't know either. And
that's
an
good.
amendment to my ordinance will be next month, is to add a flock camera next to Nate LaPriche Boutique, or Ed's Boutique, Laura's Boutique, going out of the city, to add one of those flock cameras at that location as
Well,
well.
listen, we don't divulge that typically.
Well, that's what we're going to add one.
Just saying.
Camera.
We're going to add them all over the city, by the way, so you just stay home.
License plate.
Don't come over here
Right.
if you're causing trouble.
Well,
Come
the-
spend your money.
All right, let's
Don't
go.
come take the
All right, are we
money.
going to move on?
Game started 2 minutes ago.
The effort of this ordinance was to get people thinking, and obviously that's what has happened, so I'm very proud of the effort of putting the ordinance or having it put forward. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next, please.
Ordinances for introduction. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain, proposed ordinance number 2024-18, an ordinance approving the rezoning of Lot 1A, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, and 15, Square 5, and Lot 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, and 116, Square 2, Hickory Haven Subdivision, City of Harahan, Parish of Jefferson, State of Louisiana, from R1 Single Family Residential to GO-M General Office Mixed Use and directing, authorizing, and empowering the planning director for the city of Harahan to alter and amend the official map of the city. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill. Proposed ordinance number 2024-19, an ordinance to place high-visibility traffic signs and signals at and near the intersection on 9th Street/Robert Street and Hickory Avenue. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill. Proposed ordinance number 2024-20, an ordinance amending the Harahan Municipal Code, Chapter 46, Relative Community Homes Licensing Procedures. Old business
Could I ask a couple
number
of
one.
Questions on these ordinances that was introduced tonight? Can I have questions? Can I ask a couple of questions, unless you want me to wait till next month?
Let's wait, or you can call him or him.
Oh,
Whoever.
it's both of y'all?
Oh, depends which
Depends
one.
which one you talk about.
Okay. Well, the first one is the one with the, all these numbers of all these lots. Again, I know in the years past, we're supposed to put addresses. I mean, if people don't know what Lot 1A, 2B, 3, we should have addresses on there. Are we going to
They have
notify all
addresses.
these owners of these houses, let them know that we're trying to change
Is this
their
the
home
address
from
list?
R1?
Paul, this is the address list.
I know, but are we going to notify, are we going to call the
It'll be
people?
Next month, that's gonna be over
It's
for
not on
public
the
hearing.
ordinance.
That's over for public hearing next
Yeah, I'm
month.
just telling
He
you.
said, I know, I saw that in the back, but it's not in the
Just being
ordinance.
introduced tonight.
I'm just asking, are we going to notify the owners that we changed their
should.
zoning from R1?
If a citizen
first reading.
requested this rezoning, they would.
I don't think it was a citizen that lives there. I got an idea, I know what citizens is doing this, but I'm just asking the question. And I'm going to ask the city attorney this. On the deal with the thing with the housing license, community housing, could we have somebody that's trying to buy a house in Harahan and make it assisted living for seniors? And we've already had one put in the city back under the, I think,
Vinnie Mosca.
no, but I think, was it Vinnie or was it Tina?
Vinnie, I was on the council.
And there was a ruckus, they tried to stop them, but then the feds came in. I don't know, it was HUD, you were on the council, who came in? I remember, I was in Jefferson
They
Parish.
wouldn't allow us to stop it.
Yeah.
I mean, I
And-
voted against it.
I know you did, it was 4-1 count, a 4-1 vote. But the house right now that has the assisted living, I think they have 6 beds in there, and they're R1. And this is, ordinance here does not have R1 in it, it has R2. So we're putting an ordinance in restricting R1. I don't think we can do that.
Well, since we're going to get into the conversation, I guess we'll get into the
Yeah, please.
conversation.
I just want to try to get full go, tell them.
Our ordinance is making it less restrictive than every other city or parish in the area, and less restrictive than ours. Right now, by ordinance, they can only go in C2
In Jefferson Parish?
in the city of Harahan,
What is,
Well, how come they got an R1?
because they gave them a waiver. They gave them some kind of waiver.
Well,
Our ordinance,
I know why they gave them a waiver, but
what this ordinance does is bring us in compliance with state law. Actually, more compliance with state law.
so
you said
What's
we're
gonna
less
happen?
restrictive than our neighboring communities?
That's correct.
Why would we, what's the logic of being less restrictive?
Because at some point, a council decided to remove all multifamily housing within the city of Harahan. And so you can restrict community homes to R3, which is 3 or more families. We don't have that district.
Right.
So we're going to go to R2, which is duplexes and townhouses. You can do it in R1, you just have to come get council approval.
If you wanted to do it in R2, it would have to come to council approval.
wouldn't have to.
Wouldn't have to. You
Okay,
can do it by
R1.
right.
Okay.
We couldn't- we
Okay, you
couldn't
explained
use-
it, that's why I asked the
Yeah.
question. 'cause
We couldn't use the
They're going to come
defense.
to us, I'm sorry, Tom.
No, go ahead, sir.
They're going to come
please.
to us, and my point is, if we try to stop them, the feds are going to come in again, and they're going to threaten us, and we're going to lose.
I'll tell the feds just like I tell FEMA.
Well, you're not going to tell them, because that's
will.
the housing authority, and you're not going to tell them, because they'll threaten us, so just telling you what happened in the past. So, but I just want to make sure if they can come to the council and ask for R1 community, and the council will vote on it, and we can tell them no if we want.
That's
So,
correct.
Okay, I just wanted to get it straight. Okay, I appreciate it.
Yes,
I
sir.
do have a question about 2024-18. It references going to Planning and Zoning Commission. because it doesn't say what their recommendation was, and I don't recall seeing a planning and zoning
November
minutes
6th.
for that.
It's going November
It's
6th.
set for November 6th. This is the
It
new
didn't go through.
process that we set up where we
Oh,
can
it's
put
set
it.
for November 6th,
Yes.
okay, yeah, we're fast track.
Yeah. Somebody fast track. huh?
So,
It wasn't
so
me.
somebody has put in an application for rezoning. A citizen has put in an application. Normally, my experience
was
has
that?
been property owners ask for this. I've never seen the city do it on its own.
Did the property owner that lives in that area, it lives in one of those properties ask for that, or somebody, a developer asked for that?
Someone
Now
else,
looking at me.
I'm gonna tell you, something. Someone called outside of Harahan, another political official, and has a family member that lives in this area right here, and asked, why isn't this way?
Why isn't it commercial?
Why, yeah,
Why isn't it GO?
yes.
Because it's houses. We commercial,
But
we
he said-
changed, we
he just-
changed.
I'm gonna tell you, this is a highly respected guy who called and
Well,
asked this
I-
question, and he wanted to know why, if there's a chance that we could change this to GO. He said it's on both sides is commercial. He said this section right here, I'll put up any ordinance.
I understand, but the reason why we changed the apartments to C1
85%.
is because we were trying to get the apartments to get rid of them.
Yeah, no apartments,
And
right?
we wanted to, we did that, again, under my administration, to try and get the people to get rid of the apartments. And, because we had some people on the other side that did do that. They changed to commercial.
So-
You know, they got the beauty parlor, and they got that roof and flooring company. They have changed it to commercial on the other
The
side.
first question that came to me was if we could take the whole Hickory and change it to general office. And I said, no. I said, you're basically taking dollar value from somebody who's C1. Some properties are the C1 already. They said, well, can we take all residential and do it? I said, well, you have a lot of residential sections. I said, and that's when they said where they were looking for it. And it's commercial on both sides. I said, we'll put the ordinance up, see where it goes.
Well, do this. The elected official that called you up, tell him to mind his own business and stay out of Harahan.
Go to his parish.
Go to his parish or his city, wherever he
and,
lives,
you know-
and don't
See,
worry
that's
about
what- That's what I
Harahan.
was gonna tell the feds, but you told me I couldn't do that.
That's different.
We're gonna
You can tell the
review that
feds what you
decision,
want.
and we're gonna say you can tell the feds
You
anything
can tell the
you
feds
want.
anything you want. You tell them.
Well, you know, my big thing about that is, you know, if you're in that section, say across from the VFW, and you're in that neighborhood, that's what we're referring to right there, right?
That's part of it.
So my thing is, if I'm a house, if I have a house there, and somebody starts putting an office next to my house,
Yeah.
because I know what I'm in, I'm going to be pretty upset.
Right.
And I think that, you know, whoever that is needs to understand that, because that is not fair to the homeowner
I agree.
who's, you know, invested their life savings in their own home, and some of these people have built new homes, and you're going to come put an office next to that?
I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah, I'm highly disagreeing
You
with
got
that
people build brand new
situation.
homes right by the turn.
Right.
Build-
All right, it's a first reading, guys.
Right.
Yeah, well,
Well, thank you for the information.
Thank
We
you.
normally don't go
Appreciate
into that detail.
Well, I
Y'all
just asked the question.
Answered a lot of questions.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you
Okay,
very
I'm
much.
going to add to
Always
it. Let me, I'm just for
Thank you,
lack of
gentlemen.
argument here, I'm going to add to this. And the reason why it was even brought up into consideration is because I believe there's more than 85% of Hickory already commercial. And you know, guys, how I feel about commercial. I think it's something that we do not focus on and promote nowhere near enough. And we have 2 commercial corridors. With the street already being 85% commercial, it was certainly worth the consideration. That's my whole take on it when it was brought to my attention. This could be something good. This could be, you know, a good way to start promoting more business. I mean, at some point, I do get that change is difficult, but if it doesn't become into a position where it's inevitable, the citizens will start seeing an increased tax burden as infrastructure starts to collapse. And instead of doing that, because as a true Republican, you know, our goal is to never want to raise taxes, but if we don't start looking for solutions some way, somehow, the burden to live in the city of Harahan will become pretty great in the very near future.
well, I'm going to say this, that we have 88 acres of homes being developed that's going to bring more tax dollars and revenue. You also have the entire front of that property that is able to be developed for commercial.
That's right.
So we
Again, it's
have,
on a commercial corridor, exactly where it should be.
what I'm saying is that, you know, those funds are going to be, you know, sustainable in the future. And I'm saying this, that if, you know, in my house, if somebody came to me and said, hey, I'm opening the frickin' dentist office next door, I'm going to be pretty upset. So,
Okay,
You know.
but let me just remind you, 85% of Colonial is not already commercial. 85% or plus of Hickory is already commercial.
I know, but you have a section of homes
It's been there,
Some are
that have
new,
been there.
and they're building
Some are
homes.
new.
some are brand
And
new.
I'm just saying, if you wanted to take the apartment complexes, make them C2, bulldoze every one of them down and,
Yeah.
you know, make commercial corridor, I'm sure that's a feasible thing, but, you know, we still have empty lots. as
All I
far
can
as
tell you is Harahan's developing, people tearing down old homes, building mansions. Back in the 90s, a mill was worth $43,000, $45,000. Now a mill's worth of $100,000. So the property value in Harahan is increasing every year. And we collect over $2.5 million in property tax now. Back in the 90s, we collected $900,000 worth of property tax. So the property and value is, Harahan is increasing, and that helps our value. We had a $3.9 million, when I was mayor, my budget was $3.9 million. You got almost a $10 million budget. I mean, that's good.
Oh, because,
With
yeah,
properties
I mean, that was a
increasing,
lot of work to get it there.
And we got a lot of vacant spots in Harahan that need more commercial. You got that old Walgreens sitting there vacant, and you got places in Harahan, we need to fill, what we got vacant right now,
get it.
instead of worry about changing other people's property into C1 and GO. We need to fill all the stuff we got.
Look.
Back where Eric's at, they got spots back there that we can put some businesses back there.
I'm telling y'all right now, if these citizens right here come out in favor of this,
Oh,
I'm gonna be in favor of it.
the people that live there?
Look,
If the citizens,
if
you know,
if
we
you bring
voted,
the citizens here and every one of them says yay, I'm in favor of it too.
Right, that's
And
what
I
I'm
don't-
gonna listen
I
to the
don't think it's
citizens
gonna
right
we
happen.
have some precedents for that about 6 years ago. We rezoned some property that was commercial on Jefferson Highway, right near the parish line, block off. And the citizens, the adjoining citizens actually came and said, we're for it, because we're tired of it, it's an eyesore. And I voted for a spot rezoning, and that's what it's gonna take to get me to rezone
Right,
residential.
that's what I'm saying. If these citizens come out in favor of this,
Yeah.
I'm just letting y'all know, I'm gonna listen to the neighbors.
Oh, yeah,
that's
you
mostly
definitely have to
affected.
listen to the neighborhood.
Well, like I said,
I mean, don't take this wrong, but if these people right here want it, and I know you're a Harahan citizen too, but you live over here, this
That's
ain't
right.
affecting
Oh,
you.
no,
I'm
I don't
going by
disagree
what
with
these
you.
local
Yeah, well,
I don't
if all these
disagree with
houses
it at all.
type citizens.
But you can book it, they're not gonna want it.
Yeah,
Eric,
What
I would
property-
agree with you
What
that
property you talking about? I'm sorry.
the
Smoothie King.
hair salon
Oh,
and
yeah, that-
the
yeah, I had no problem with
Smoothie King,
Smoothie King.
both of them.
I had no
So,
problem with that.
so, yeah, and I had a problem with it, except the adjoining residents said, we're good.
my thing,
So-
like Paul was saying, you know, we have abandoned properties. We have, you know, we have places to fill. We build more places, it doesn't matter. If you have abandoned, empty spaces, it doesn't look good. Fill the space before you go freaking imposing your
Right.
rule of law on the citizens who have homes.
So you know, and I'm like you, Councilman Ricks, I look at all of these rezoning things as if I were the neighbor. And how would I feel if somebody did some zoning changes next to me?
You'd be
Now, this
mad.
would-
You'd
So,
be mad.
I would, I'd be very upset.
Well, my point, you know, we as a council, we, you know, the people come first.
I was on a zoning board for 30 years, and we never did pass on spot zoning.
We know.
When you live in a neighborhood and you take
I got,
Ms. Majine, can you, Ms. Majine, we got it. Ms. Majine, can you please not yell from the crowd, please?
well, I want to interact with, real quick with Ms.
Please, for the love
Majine.
of Jesus, now. Please.
We appreciate, you know, historical knowledge around here, and we've got a spot open on the Planning and Zoning Board, I think. Is that still on the agenda for tonight?
Yeah, but
Yep,
Ms.
coming up
Bettine, you wanna be in the
soon. Do you
spot?
want
Miss,
to move
are
on?
you,
Planning
are you
and
interested
Zoning
in serving on Planning and Zoning? Oh. I
Go
thought I
for
had it, I thought I
31
had
years,
it.
Ms. Magine. 32 years.
I was on it for 30 years.
Okay, are we ready to move on to old business?
Old business.
Are we ready to move on to old business? Thank you.
Old business number 1, Planning and Zoning Board appointment.
I'd like to recommend Majine.
Okay, obviously, we have no appointments at this time. We'll keep it on a meeting. We'll defer to the next
Anybody
meeting, which is the next Thursday of November. Madam Clerk?
You gotta vote on the
Next.
deferral, please.
Second to deferral.
Thank
We
you.
have a motion for deferral, a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor to defer?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk?
New business number 1, Todd Turnion, Finance Director, monthly financials.
Oh, no. Wait, I gotta put these glasses on. Hold on. Let me get you your stuff.
I thought I was gonna get to speak about that. We can go later. Oh, yeah, it's over there.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. Brief update from the Finance team. Sales tax revenues for the general fund continue to come in right at budget. Don't think they'll be much in excess of budget, but also don't expect them to be less than budget, which is good. So we should be plus or minus a small amount based on what we budgeted. The sales tax amounts for the fire fund, we had budgeted those at 1.5 million. Year to date, we're at 1.3 million. So we expect that to be over budget. Who knows where we'll land, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8 million. But that'll be over the 1.5 that we budgeted.
I'm sorry, we budgeted 1.5, and you said it's coming in at 1.3.
Well, we're 1.3
Right now.
through September.
Oh, okay,
So we
Okay,
still
I'm
have
sorry.
at least 3 months, and they're not exactly
right.
pro rata.
So you're
you
expecting
know,
it to
but
come in higher?
We'll be over the 1.5.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Couple other revenue items, video poker, we've collected 300,000 to date. We had budgeted 400,000. We do expect that to be over budget by the end of the year. We're a bit under budget in fines and forfeitures tickets. That's about it on the, two other things on the revenue side. We've started collecting the higher sanitation rates. That was in January. That's consistent with the budgets. And the higher sewer rates started July 1st. So that the council approved earlier.
On revenues, on court,
Yep.
is that a timing issue, or are we just under
I
because
don't,
of ticket writing?
no,
or-
I don't think it's a timing issue.
Okay, it's just under.
I can follow up with the chief for any feedback, but
Okay.
we're,
How big is that delta?
give me 1 minute.
We should be at 75%? Is that where we're at in the year?
Right.
It's at 50%
Right.
of budgeted.
Right.
But what's the dollar amount?
The total budgeted was 312. What's collected is 156.
Yeah.
Yep.
156 and 100, apparently.
There's a few expense line items that are over budget. I know one, Paul mentioned at the last meeting was tree trimming expense, so we're over budget on that line item. So that'll be part of the budget amendment. And then we're working on the budget prep and the timeline. Carrie and I spoke this evening, so we'll have a bit of a timeline out to the council early next week, and a plan for the amended budget for '24 and the new budget for 2025.
Can I ask you a quick question? Is part of the tree trimming expense from the last storms?
I don't
Just
believe, no.
overall?
Just over.
Just overall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know you make a good point, thank you. But we do have to get out and grab hangers and stuff like that, yeah, and I haven't really trimmed that many trees this year. That's Mr. Paul, he's the head of the tree board, he's over there trimming trees like Paul Bunyan over there.
No. Nobody's come to me about
Got
trees.
Paul Bunyan over there trimming all the trees down.
Don't put that blame on me.
When we
Nobody's come to me about any
spoke
trees.
last, I believe you told me that expenses were generally in line with budget. So the general fund budget is, we're not going to run a deficit over our budget.
Not that I anticipate, but that's what
Doesn't look like it.
that's the exercise over the next
That's where you
3 to
were,
4
I think,
weeks.
a month ago. and I
Correct.
just wanted to know if that was
Correct.
still your opinion.
Yes.
Thank you.
There'll certainly be some line items over budget. Insurance, I think, is 20 grand over budget as of now.
But if we
Total-
do have any additional net expenses, we've got additional net revenue to cover it, so you think
Hopefully, correct.
bottom line is going to be at least a wash.
Correct, yes.
Great, that's a good position to be in, thank you.
One last item, just for the, just to remind the council, the debt service payment on the $2 million loan that we took for the delay in the FEMA reimbursements, that debt service payment is due December 1st. So that's about, it's $250,000 in principal and $60,000 or $70,000 in interest.
Do we have the cash to cover that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's something we budgeted for, right?
It's
Yeah.
budgeted, yep,
Okay,
yep.
thank you.
Thank you.
Now, last month, you talked, I asked you about the line items that we had, departments that were over budgeted. We work on a line item budget. You had said we were going to make an amendment to the budget and put everybody in line. When are we going to do that?
That's the timeline that we'll send out early next week.
Okay.
So we expect that we'll have first reading at the November meeting. At some point between the November and December meetings, we'll have a budget hearing open to the public, and then the budget amendment for '24 and the 2025 budget will be approved at the December council meeting.
So right now, you're not envisioning any special meetings except the budget hearing?
Just the budget hearing, that'll be someday in, I don't know, December 8th, 9th, 10th,
Hopefully
4th,
we can stay with that.
somewhere right in between the November and December meetings.
Now, we're going to have money to, I hadn't looked at the budget in a month. We're going to have money to maintenance, we're going to have money to regulatory, but
Senior center as well.
Administration, police, fire, they in line with their
Yeah.
budget, but the other departments
Yeah.
are over budgeted, so we're going to have to add money to their line, to their
Correct.
budget.
Correct. Senior center as well, because
Senior center, too, I
we didn't
saw
budget
that.
any of those
I saw the senior
operating
center's over
expenses.
too, yeah.
Since we took over the senior center.
Okay.
Thank you. So that
Thank you.
bingo game, see if we can make some money.
New business number 2, 2025 council meeting dates,
Is it still every third Thursday of every month at 6:30?
except for June. Because the June meeting falls on June 19th, which is a holiday. Yes. So I had pushed that meeting back to the June 26th. I sent y'all an email I sent y'all an email about holidays, huh?
Now, wait, we're open for public hearing on the council meeting dates. Close public hearing. We have a second by Council Chatelain. All in favor?
Wait, I'm sorry, what is that?
We're approving the new dates for
New
the
dates.
next year's dates for the council meeting?
You can't do June 19th because it falls on Juneteenth.
Okay, thank you, I'm ready to vote.
All in favor? Yay. 5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk.
New business number 3, 2025 holidays. Y'all can defer if y'all need to.
Thank you for cutting down on holidays a little bit. Looks like we cut down on something. I don't know what it was.
I think you took birthdays away,
Well, did we?
I think.
Birthdays were never on the schedule, they're in the,
Y'all never gave birthdays?
that's in the personnel policy.
Oh, okay. So, 14 days?
Should be exactly the
11,
same.
12, 13, 14.
Should be the same amount of days.
Same holidays as last year. Move to
All right, we're open for public hearing on those holidays. Anybody, no one coming to the podium. We have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Riggs to approve. All in
Well,
favor?
Let's have a discussion for a
Oh,
moment.
we want discussion.
Yeah, my position on this is unchanged. 15 holidays, paid holidays, I think is excessive. So, yeah,
14.
I thought there was 14.
and birthdays.
Oh.
So it's just not on this schedule, but
Right.
it's codified elsewhere. So I just wanted to say, I'm in the same place I was last year.
Let me ask you
Ready to vote.
something, buddy. I know you retired. So when you did work, and I know you worked hard most of your life, were you off for New Year's? Tell me which one of these holidays you think.
Let me tell you another way. Most of my working career, I had 8 to 10 holidays. I may have gotten to 11, may have. And then I got to 15 days of PTO, no holidays. That was sick time, and that was holidays. You could take your PTO on a holiday. So that's something that business has been going to. I don't know of a business, and there may be some, I don't know of any business that has basically 3 weeks of holidays.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm just gonna be honest with you. My guys in my business, we get off all of these days except Martin Luther King Day and Juneteenth. So if you want to scratch either one of them holidays, I'm in favor of it.
Well, okay, and I proposed that last year, and I don't know if it's 4-1 vote, or it might have been a 3-2 vote.
So we can
But-
vote against Martin Luther King Day and Juneteenth. Okay. So is that a motion? Do you make an
No,
amendment?
this is a discussion.
Oh, okay.
Governor, didn't the governor mandate
Oh, so-
Well,
June?
he made
Now we-
Juneteenth a state
Now we put
holiday.
the
I don't
governor
know
in
if
this.
that means-
So the
This is
governor,
just
let's
getting
get
worse.
this straight. Like, the city has its own domain. The governor can't mandate any holidays, can't mandate
Don't be a smart ass.
what day the holidays
Don't
on.
be a smart ass.
Well, I'm just telling you, Mr. Paul.
I just
I've had
know-
enough
I
of this.
just made a
You can't
statement.
tell people.
Listen, can
I
I
just made a
ask
statement.
a simple question?
Uh-huh.
Is this holiday calendar mimic Jefferson Parish's holiday
Yes.
calendar?
This might be
Pretty
less
well.
than Jefferson
Pretty
Parish.
well.
Jefferson Parish
It's
has
less than
more
Jefferson.
holidays.
Pretty
I
well.
mean,
And I think it's a pretty good holiday schedule for how we pay our employees.
Yeah,
That's
I'm not-
another thing
I'm
we
not
gotta take.
complaining. I'm just saying, if someone says it's too many, I'm open to cut some.
Let me ask you a question, Councilman
Juneteenth.
Chatelain, just as a point of interest.
I went to school on Martin Luther King Day when I was a kid.
You guys are closed, your folks are off on Monday before Mardi Gras?
what's that?
Monday before Mardi Gras, Mardi Gras.
We are.
Sweet. Should have worked for you. I've made a bunch of bad decisions.
I'm still trying to get a job working for him.
Call for the vote.
I'll move to approve.
You sure you find, you don't want to amend, Councilman Charlene?
You don't want to talk to the
Not
governor?
unless we add
Yeah,
one.
you want to talk to the governor? You want to defer this, and so you can talk to the governor and you can revisit
I'm not
your,
interested in talking to the
I
governor.
don't know, my
The governor is busy dealing with other stuff that don't pertain to any of these local municipalities.
Y'all might not know, the governor's at the Saints game right now. We still sitting in
The
the.
governor is interested in dealing with issues that don't
left my
matter
phone in the car.
as far as like,
Oh,
All
no.
right, so we have
putting
no,
the Ten Commandments on the
no
classroom
amendments to
wall,
the holidays.
but the kids can't read it, so it doesn't make
I'm
any
gonna
difference.
propose an amendment to the holiday and to remove June 19th, Thursday,
Oh,
Juneteenth.
Wait, I'm sorry, can you repeat it?
he wants to remove
I'd like to
Juneteenth.
delete June 19th. In this case, Juneteenth is the name of the holiday.
Okay, so we have a motion by Councilman Buddy. We have a second by second by Councilman Chatelain to remove June 19th from the holiday schedule. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yay.
Nay.
Hey,
Does that, Councilman Rich, you said?
I said yay.
3 yeas, 2 no, so that passes, so June 19th is no longer a holiday. Any other holidays we want to remove?
No, not me, I'm sorry, I'm going to speak
Councilman
for
Chatelain,
everybody
you want to
else.
move with that Martin Luther King Day? You sure?
well,
So we-
since we did that,
We amended it, we're amending the ordinance is what we just
So
did.
you want to remove a holiday?
no, I didn't vote nay,
Okay.
yay, because now we can go back to the meeting days and put the meeting back on June 19th instead of June 26th. There's no reason to move our meeting
Oh,
if
wow.
we took the holiday away.
Yeah, if the city's
That's
gotta
why
work, the
I
council's
didn't-
gotta
I
work.
didn't-
I'm good with that.
I didn't change, I voted yay. But since we did that, we'll go back and we'll amend it, and we'll take the 19th for the meeting.
What will, it reverts to June 19th?
But we got to finish this first.
Yeah.
We got to finish the holidays first.
Assuming that motion passes.
We did.
Well, the amendment
There's three-
passes.
The amendment passes,
Now we
all
got
right.
to vote on the holidays.
All right, so all in favor of the holiday schedule as amended?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
Nay.
Nay.
3 yeas, 2 nays?
Yep.
New holiday schedule is approved. Now, do you want to go
I should
back?
have voted for it because we're going back.
No, that was,
I'm going to vote for it because we're going to go change to June 19th.
Right,
on
right.
holiday.
June 19th is
I'm
no
gonna
longer a
vote for it.
holiday.
then it's 4-1?
Yeah.
Because last year, I didn't want Juneteenth Day
Right.
last year.
Oh, yeah.
4-1?
Yeah, 4-1. I'm going to vote for it.
All right, Mr. Paul is now changing his vote,
I changed my
4-1.
vote, I'm an old,
Okay.
you got a big,
All right,
a little old.
Now
So-
they're re-voting to reopen.
so do you want to reopen the
Yeah, for
council meeting
for
dates?
the meetings, and we'll go back to
So
June.
we have a motion by Councilman Johnson, second by, to reopen council meeting
Hold on,
days, second
hold
by
on.
Councilman
Does this need to
Chatelain.
be unanimous since he's re-bringing it?
Well, to leave it at 20, I don't care.
Do we
Don't
have?
play no games
do
with
we
me,
have-
son.
Is it
You want to leave
unanimous
it
to
at
bring it
what
back
it is,
up?
you leave it what it is.
Well, let's,
Oh, yeah, you saying
let's
that?
vote on reopening
Don't
it
play
and see
the
where we
games.
are.
Are you saying
I
that?
was just asking a
Okay,
question.
so,
That's fine with me. leave it where
all
it's
in
at.
favor to reopen the holiday schedule, I mean, the normal council meeting day schedule? All in
Yay.
favor?
Yay.
Nay.
It's fine, we'll leave it where it's at. I don't care. It makes no difference to me.
All right.
Play no games with me, son.
My God.
Hey, y'all, you play games. You play it every meeting.
All right,
you play
Madam
games.
Clerk.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you don't appreciate nothing.
Okay, new business number 4, Michelle Lane, Event Director, requests permission to place signs on the
Move to
neutral
adjourn.
ground to bring awareness to the 11th Annual Louisiana Walks for Parkinson's event on October 26,
Can we leave it up to Peter
2024
Parkinson's and then you-
at Lafreniere Park. The event is approaching the milestone of raising $1 million.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbell to adjourn. Do we have a
Withdraw my-
second?
I withdraw my motion.
No.
He withdraws his motion. Okay. All right, so new business number 4, Michelle Lane, this is the Parkinson Walk. We're now for a public hearing. Anyone want to speak for it? Anyone want to speak against it? All right, public hearing is now closed.
Move to approve.
I'll move on it.
I'd like to just read it for a moment.
Basically just ask,
All she wants to put signs on the neutral ground, that's all it is.
For like a week, because I think.
Yeah.
the walk,
It walks to 26.
the sign's already up in Jefferson Parish.
Yeah, she just wants to put them on neutral
Okay,
ground.
thank you. Thank you for that information, Councilman. All right. I'm ready to move on it when y'all are.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk.
Address the council.
Anyone like to address the council, please state your name and address at the podium.
Mr. Wade, 146 Colonial Club Drive. Has anybody on the council or the mayor had a discussion with the parish and DOTD about Dickory and the plans there and how it's going to affect Hickory?
Oh.
Because my understanding is Hickory is a state street.
Mixed. Part state,
A what, sir?
part
State.
colonial, part Harahan.
But part of it is there. And there's some talk between, my understanding, DOTD, Jefferson Parish, about what happens to Hickory when Dickory is completed from Robert Street to Jefferson Highway. So I want to know if anybody's had any discussions. You're talking about doing stuff to Hickory, but is that in line with what the plans are with DOTD and the state?
So the part of
And the-
Hickory that we're
and-
talking about is nothing to do from this part this way.
That they were going to, part of my understanding from Jefferson Parish Council is that it is including crossovers between Hickory and Dickory because they don't meet the DOTD standards when they were originally
So
put in.
year and a half ago, I asked about crossovers.
Yeah,
No one could tell me anything. So recently, no, I do not have no new plans.
okay. I would suggest that the plans for the extension of Dickory have, I think, been completed. I think this council needs to get briefed on it, just as to what's going to happen and what the effect is going to be on this city, especially with Hickory. When you're talking about changing zoning, there's going to be a massive change once all of that is open. And that needs to be considered when you're doing some of this zoning and thinking about the long term of Hickory.
Exactly,
So that's just my recommendation.
exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor, that was what I was going to, when we did our reports, last month we had talked to you about calling up the parish to find out about Dickory. Did you call them and ask them what's going on
I
with
didn't,
Dickory?
I'm sorry, I forgot. I do have a little synopsis of what I'm hearing, but I haven't seen anything to be factual. When I have something in my hand that's in writing, then I'll know it to be factual.
Would you call and find out what's going on? Because,
I will call, but I'm sorry, I forgot.
that's okay.
I'm sorry.
That's what I was going to ask you tonight, if you had a chance to call them
I'm sorry.
and find out, because they have the money. And we just, that's important to Harahan.
I know,
Dickory
yes, sir.
is very
One way or
important.
the other.
Extension then?
Yeah.
Okay, Ms. Beijing?
I dedicated,
I think 2 times before.
Ms. Beijing?
I talked to in 2019, I moved 16 million to
When are
finish
y'all
Dickory.
gonna start talking about term limits? That election's coming up in December. and y'all haven't mentioned a thing.
They're on the,
I would say half of Harahan don't even know it.
right.
When y'all gonna start telling the people?
Well, we had a public meeting on it, it was discussed, and we even modified the resolution to basically say if it passed, all of the 5 councilmen in that resolution committed to voting, putting up again a 3-term limit. So we had this conversation in depth at a council meeting. I don't know what else we can do, if you have some suggestions.
Well, y'all ought to be talking about it. Now, people don't even realize there's an election coming up.
Well,
Not for us.
That's 2 elections from now.
Yeah, we're gonna vote for a president in 3 weeks.
That's right.
In 5 weeks, y'all wanna have term limits. You wanna take term limits off.
I see what you're saying.
9 weeks.
And then you want us to give you back the right to vote again, to run again.
That's right.
It's so hard when we have term limits, to vote on term limits, to get a politician out of office with term limits. And that's why we have term limits, because of a problem.
I'm going to address this. My term's up every 4 years.
That's right.
When I put my name on a ballot, if you don't want me, don't vote for me.
You can run for another office if it's term limits and your 8 years are up. You have 2 terms.
Man, if I run the first term
term.
and I serve 4 years,
Right.
I run again. If I did a bad job in that first 4 years, don't vote for me.
Well, no, you're right about that.
So if I run 4 years and I do a good job, I get reelected. If I run again and I do a good job, I'll get reelected. If I don't vote for me.
Your 8 years are enough time. If you want to stay in office, run for another office. In other words, if you're councilman and you want to run for mayor, you can do that. But not stay where you are for another 8 years.
Okay,
Because when that extra term is up, you're going to want some more time. And before you know it, you want to be there for 50 years, which has happened in Harahan.
And if the person's doing a good job, we reelect them.
Well, that's what you say, but I'm for term limits, leaving term limits as it is. If people take term limits off, they are gonna have a hell of a time getting rid of a politician.
9 weeks, vote
You
again.
can believe it.
All right?
Y'all ought to tell the people what's going on. Nobody even knows this election is coming up for term limits. So if you get 10 people to vote to take term limits off, then you won, you can have.
and then we're
I
going to
would-
put up, we've all committed to then putting up a 3-term limit. The whole,
Well, I will be voting for term limits. And if people
Thank
are
you.
smart, they'll continue to have
Thank
term
you.
limits.
I just want to address it real quick.
But it's gonna be
I'm
up
not-
to the people.
I'm not going to discuss whether I'm for or against term limits, because I am for term limits, perhaps more terms. But anyway, Ms. Majine, we can't make people be engaged. You know about the election because you're an engaged citizen, and you do your duty as a citizen to go find out about this stuff. All these people who aren't here, I can't make them listen to us. Just because I say it on the microphone, they're not going to, most of them aren't watching the YouTube to find out. They're not watching Cox Channel 10 to find out.
Well, that's why people don't come to the town councils anymore.
No, they don't
You
come.
made everybody wait till the end to speak. You took out right away from us to speak at the beginning of a meeting.
They don't come because they're not
And they
engaged.
don't even come. That's why nobody comes.
No, they don't come because they're not engaged, and most of them don't care, which is unfortunate. They should care. This is their government. This is their city. They should care about it, but we can't make them care about it. We've put it on the agendas, advertised it, talked about it at 2 meetings because it had to be introduced and discussed, and it's going to be on the ballot. And if they don't do the research on their ballot, to me, that's the worst part of disengagement, is not even looking at the ballot before it's, when it's published. So we can't make people be engaged. If they know about it, they know about it. If they don't know about it, they're probably never going to know about it, even though we're talking about it here tonight. So thank you for bringing it up, because we're talking about it, and this is another opportunity for engagement. But I promise the same people will be here next month, unfortunately. and we'll say the same thing.
Because y'all created just what you wanted.
No.
For people not to come to the meeting.
That's not true, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
If you're here, right? So you're at the meeting, you've engaged. You've done that because you care and because you can. So we didn't get rid of anything. Have we shortened the meetings by streamlining the meetings? Yes, absolutely. There's no reason for 20 people to come up and speak for an hour before, and for those same 20 people to come up at the end and say the same thing for the next hour. There's no reason for that, but you've come, you've engaged, we are here, you're allowed to be here, everyone is allowed to be here and get their 3 minutes, and they're just not. And that's unfortunate, and that really, honestly, is why I don't want another term, because people don't care. Thank you.
And let me say this, that if they did care, every board we have would be full.
Full, to the max. Thank you, that's all I've got.
Well, I'm a little bit more of the cup half full kind of guy. I think that people don't come to the council meeting because this council and past council, and we worked our butt off, and they trust what we do. And they trust that the direction that the city's going in, it looks amazing. It's never been the renaissance that it's, if there's a true renaissance happening in the city of Harahan, and I think people have embraced it wholeheartedly and believe in us with all their trust and faith. Madam Clerk?
I'd like almost, you make another comment. In past years, and I know we've all seen it, the council meetings were a joke. They were something I was ashamed of as being a citizen of Harahan. Everyone for about 2 years went to midnight, and they ended before all the business was covered. So this council, while we do not always agree by any means, we're always respectful. We don't get into personal feuds. We've cut all of that nastiness and pettiness out. It's a very professional council. Things move, boom, boom, boom. There's no excitement. And I think that's part of the reason we don't get the attendance we used to, if not the entire reason we don't get the attendance we used to. That's just my personal take on it.
All right, Madam Clerk,
Moving on.
Secretary's report.
Secretary's report. For September 2024, total revenues, $645,501.32. Reports.
I'm going to give Chief LaPree's report tonight. He's actually at a conference for the chiefs of police. We wish him well, and he's learning to be a better chief and do even more amazing things for the city of Harahan. But he would like to put out his, please, be safe. Halloween's coming up. We will have extra police officers back there. There will be extra other entities helping us back there. Halloween has certainly grown and spread out through the Imperial Woods area, and we will have a high police presence there. So please behave yourselves, because the chief and all other officers are going to be on duty strictly enforcing behavior. And second of all, he wanted to remind everyone that the Christmas parade is on December 14th at 12 o'clock. And he just likes to keep that guy out in front of you guys. So if you guys have any desire to wanting to be into that parade, please call Miss Kathleen at the Harahan Police Department. She is the organizer of the parade, and we look forward to seeing you out and making the parade bigger and longer than it's ever been. Madam Clerk.
Still on reports.
It's my report? Is it my turn?
Yes, it is.
Two things. One, tomorrow evening, the Harahan Fire Department is graduating a new class of recruits at the Harahan Senior Center. So if you see the new guys out, congratulate them. 4 young guys who are going to really bring down the average age of the fire department, but also fill up our trucks because that's what we need.
And it's our first graduating class.
It's in our first ever in Harahan graduating a class that was solely run by Harahan. So that's awesome.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, it's awesome. The second report is construction on the new play set at Soniat Playground will begin tomorrow, and it should be completed within a couple of weeks, and we're excited about that. So thank you all for voting on it and for allocating the funds to it. Thank you.
Councilman Buddy.
I'd just like to say, repeat, Halloween is right around the corner. Be safe. There's a lot of folks out, a lot of children. If you are driving through a neighborhood, please be extra careful. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Councilman Chatelain.
Guys, well, Chief LaPree's not here, and if he was, I know he would say, thanks all the agencies that came out and helped out for Night Out Against Crime. It was a phenomenal turnout. I mean, Sheriff LaPinto said the helicopter landed on the field. Kids loved it. It was, adults loved it. I loved it.
Might have been the
It
biggest
was,
night out.
it was pretty cool, you know, something you don't normally see around here. We had agencies from all over. They had Kenna, Levy Board, judges, state police, wildlife and fishery. I know I'm missing somebody. Child Services, Jefferson Parish. But it was a great turnout. Seen a lot of people. I'd like to thank all the volunteers, the people who sponsored food, everyone who came out. It was a great time. We look forward to doing it again next year. I'm excited. We didn't do it on the same night as everyone else, National Night Out Against Crime. You're able to get more people to come. A lot of agencies said they were happy we did it on a different night because they were bouncing from one to the other. They couldn't spend time and stay in one spot. I hope the chief looks into doing that again. I'd be in favor of keeping it on a different night. And thank everybody. Happy Halloween. Be safe. That's it.
Councilman Johnston.
Yes, I have a few things that I'd like to talk about. First thing, wanted to mention to the citizens about the Harahan Senior Center. Many years ago, the Harahan Senior Center used to be on Bailey Street behind the old Burger King, the old Popeyes. Eric, you remember that one? It was back there, about across the street from the school, back in the 80s? But you were a little kid then, huh? Well, it used to be back there on Bailey Street, and then Carlo Ferrera was mayor back in the early 80s, and he led the charge to move the senior center over to where it's at right now. He got involved with the state senator, Hank Lauricella, and with Eddie Doucette, who was the state rep, and he got involved with Marrero Land, who donated the land to the city to build a senior center. Well, the senior center was built in the early 80s and was opened, I think, in 1984. And that's the center we have there today. So I would like to let the citizens in Harahan Council know that I will be introducing an ordinance in the beginning of next year, probably in January, to name the senior center Carlo Ferrera, Harahan, the new Harahan Senior Center, name it Carlo Ferrera. And I'd ask the council to do a joint ordinance with all our names on it, to the unanimous ordinance in memory of Carlo Ferrera, who was an icon to the city. And if it wasn't for Carlo's efforts, that senior center wouldn't be there today. So I hope the council goes along with me on that unanimous ordinance that we're going to introduce after the first of the year. And that's the first thing I'd like to talk about. Second thing, Mayor, you and I discussed it the other day, and I don't want to get in any argument. The council donated, we passed an ordinance for $200,000 to do a resort to asphalt the street. When I talked to you the other day, I asked you why we hadn't done anything. We did it about 4 months ago, and you said you're waiting for getting $1.5 million from the state because you want to concrete that street. And I had mentioned to you why we're going to concrete the street, because there's no street in Roy Lane that's concreted. The whole subdivision is asphalt. And you said, well, we asked for concrete. I said, well, maybe we can tell them we want to asphalt. You could do probably 4 or 5 streets in Roy Land with $1.5 million. And I'm trying to find out from you, why are we trying to asphalt resort concrete? I mean, that's a waste, because no other street in that subdivision is concrete. And Monroe, we dedicated $100,000 to do Monroe, and we haven't done that yet because you wanted to concrete that. And I'm baffled. Why would you want to concrete one street in Rawland? I can't. Can you explain to me why? I mean, I don't know. I don't understand it. Why wouldn't we? I mean, maybe if you
Just because it lasts, I mean.
But that's not a good enough answer for me. I mean, one street in the whole subdivision, concrete?
I don't want to do any streets blacktop. I don't care where it is.
Well, you don't have enough money to do all the streets. You can fix 5 streets in Broadland.
Well, this is
You could do
what happened.
Roseland, you could do Resor,
I'll answer.
you can do Randolph, you can do Franklin, you could do Woodward, you could do Posey, you could do all those streets back there.
Right. So what happened when you were mayor, you made the decisions of what you wanted to do when you were the mayor?
Right.
I'm the mayor now, so there's decisions that I want to do. And I see where we've done blacktop that is already failing, that has just been done in the last 2 years. And as you mentioned when we did discuss it, you said, well, why don't we do blacktop on everything? And I made a recommendation, well, within 2 years or so, it'll be failing.
No.
And you said, well, we will be gone anyway, so why does it matter? Well, when I leave this city, I don't want to be left what I got. I want to leave this city in the most perfect condition that I possibly can leave it in. I don't fix anything second. I don't do anything second rate. Everything I do is perfect. And even, when you questioned me on the walking trail about not going back with the blacktop, and you went and fact-checked me with the parish, because the parish is now doing concrete for the same principle, at last. I don't want to hand the next mayor projects that I've had to have because I think it's silly, and I want to make sure that I'd like to do it the way I like to do it, so I was told by this. You want to do concrete on them streets, I'm not going to approve it unless you go get your own money to go do it. I was told that by another councilman. Well, guess what I did? I went out and got my own money. I went and hustled that money. I went and worked hard, diligently at the state, trying to get the money to concrete my streets. So that's what I did. I went and got the money to do it. We actually got the CEAs in from the from the state just the other day. It's just a process that I like to do. It's my process. It's my way of doing things.
Does that mean?
Well, I understand that,
Does that
but-
mean there's $300,000 available to spend on other streets now, since you went and got the
Well,
money?
what I was hoping to do with the $300,000 with the other stuff is add on to it, and maybe we can, do some more work with it.
Another 20 feet.
Yeah. Councilman Chatelain and I obviously disagree on
So,
that,
yeah, I think
but
you're on
again,
your
I was instructed by the council, if you want to concrete streets, you go get the
The
money to
council
do it.
didn't instruct you. I didn't instruct you to do
A
that.
councilman may have.
A
May-
council have.
one
And so
may.
I went and got my own money to do my own streets.
Well, I think that's
no-
totally ridiculous for you to spend $1 million on one street for concrete.
Okay, I'm
And
gonna-
well, don't you try to shut me off, because I'm going to talk. You're going to spend $1 million to concrete one street in a subdivision that's all asphalt, because you want to put a legacy?
No, I want-
No, let me talk, and then you can talk, because you rattle on, because when I try to talk, you over-talk everybody. You're going to spend $1 million for one street in the city, when you could do 5 streets in that neighborhood. That asphalt will last 10 to 15 years. Don't tell me I told you 2 years the other day. I said, man, that street will last 10, 15 years. You and I will be going. 10 or 15 years, I've done streets when I was mayor, they still back there. I did Harris, it's still there. I did Posey, it's still there. I did streets, asphalt's still good 10, 15 years ago. So, don't come up and say it's not gonna, we want you to just leave, as bills, if you don't wanna listen. You always got a comment to make. All I can say, Mayor, is that you want to put a concrete, I think it's a waste of money. You could do more streets with asphalt. And that's all, I'm just asking you a question, and you're going to tell me, well, that's what I want, because I'm the mayor of the city. I understand you're the mayor. I'm also questioning all the money you spend on that. And now, look, I don't have a problem with you putting that walking track, honoring the vets that died during World War II. But you spent a lot of money back. Did you have a budget for that?
We did, and again,
Who did the budget?
we went and got the money for that.
Who did
Again, we got
how
the
much
from
money
the
you
state.
spent? I want to see the budget. I didn't approve that much money. I didn't give you a budget to do that. I want to see the money you spend, and I want a breakdown by child on how much money you spent and where you got the money to spend. I want to see that. I want to see where you're getting the money. What's going on here, you have no transparency on jobs you're doing. You go take the money wherever you want to take it. The senior center, which I love the senior center. You said the other day when we had the grand opening, you spent $750,000 on the senior center. Where'd you get the money from? I know we passed an ordinance for $125,000. Dino put up $125,000. You got $166 from the state. Where did the rest of the money come? I'd like to see where you got the money from to do it.
So
Break it down. Break it down. I want to see a budget. You don't have a budget. You just take money from where you want to take it from. I want to see a budget on where you're getting the money from. That's all.
Can you let him answer?
Yeah, but now you can answer it.
So there was $375,000 that the city included in the capital project fund budget for the senior center.
Where'd they get it? From the capital budget? The council approved that? I know, I only
Yeah,
remember
but
approving
that was
125.
to include the money from Jefferson Parish and the money from the state.
That's $375,000. That's the state,
I mean,
Dino
that was
Banana.
my understanding.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's Dino Banana, The
So you're saying we
125,000?
had 375, and then we got 125 from the parish and 160 from the state?
We got 125 from the parish. There was 200 from the state. And
We did 125.
we did one.
Where'd the rest
125.
come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I ask is for I want to see a breakdown,
Yeah,
where we get the
I'm
money
curious
from.
too, if we
We
did
can-
spend 750, I
can
had
send
no
you that.
idea we spent more than 375.
Yeah, we can send that.
And to that
I don't
extent,
remember saying
it should have gone
750,
through the capital process. And Councilman and Mayor, I think the quote, concrete street versus blacktop street has to go through the council capital budget process. So
So Councilman Brody, it does not, and I will beg to differ with you on that, because I went and got that money, which is appropriated by a state ordinance, a state revised statute, House Bill 2, is what we asked for through capital outlay, is what that money is requested for. It does not have to come through council process. Once that money is allocated towards that project, that money goes towards that project. What's that?
Every single dollar has to come to the council.
Well, I completely disagree, and I have lawsuits.
Scott,
that-
need to research that. But you could go back and say, you could change that from concrete to asphalt.
I don't
I think
want-
that's totally ridiculous for you to put all that money for one street in Roy Land, and you got all those streets back there that are falling apart. They got streets, I ride the city 3 times, 4 times a week, and I see those streets. And Royland's got some bad streets back there that need to be fixed. And Resor is one of them that's bad. But you can do 3 inches or 2 or 3 inches of asphalt back there. You don't have to put a concrete, and then, I'm not an engineer, the guy left. But if I remember correctly, a concrete street is totally different flow. The drains are 300 feet apart, where an asphalt street, the drains are 50 feet apart. It's a totally different construction as far as engineering. So I don't know.
I'm going to say something. I live on Colonial Club Drive, that's asphalt.
Your street needs to be fixed.
It is absolutely,
And that's the
So-
parish's road.
I understand. And I look at the Jefferson Highway, that is completely asphalted all the way down, new concrete curbs and the whole 9 yards. So, you know, I have mixed opinions on that myself, because I live on a, you know,
Your road's
asphalt street
terrible.
where they've, and let me just say this. There's new construction going on across the street. They have to cut squares out of the asphalt street and put them back in. And when you have a maintenance problem of any variety, any asphalt street is not worth a you-know-what. Because when you put a patch in, it's terrible. It's absolutely disgusting. The infrastructure in the city's falling apart underneath the ground, trying to get it fixed. I don't know what's back there as far as infrastructure, but I know this. If you spend $350,000 or $400,000 on a street, and you have to come back and tear it up for infrastructure, and you're trying to patch it, it's not gonna be worth you-know-what. But, you know, with concrete, you can cut it and backfill it. So, from that standpoint, I kind of agree with that, but I understand what you're saying at the same time. But I'll tell you this, that scraping a street and coming back over with 2 or 3 inches of asphalt, I wouldn't want to do that.
I will say, I agree with you on the asphalt concrete issue. I think we should go back with asphalt. I do think that in the mayor's defense, I do think that one of the delays was the parish is planning on fixing all of the water lines in Royal Land at the beginning of 2025. And so it would be silly to go ahead and pave it now for them to bring their equipment back there to roll on it. And I'm okay with that delay. I'm not okay with doing the concrete.
I'm against the concrete. I think if we're going to take the money, do all asphalt, hold up on the asphalt until the parish goes back and fix all the drains. We fixed Oakland. We did Oakland. We laid down a new street in Oakland. I went to the parish and said, while we're tearing up Oakland, why don't you fix the water lines? They wouldn't do it. Well, we fixed Oakland, put a new street down. Next thing you know, the water line broke, and we got to go in there, and they got to go in and patch it. I mean, you know, Fleming's over there patching the road. And like you said, they patching it.
So if the state awarded the funds to the city for a new concrete street on Resort, then I don't think we have a choice. because if we don't do what it was allocated for, I don't think they're going to reimburse us.
He could go back and check.
Mr. Paul,
You could check.
you have Concrete Street?
My subdivision's concrete.
You have Concrete Street?
My subdivision was built in the 50s.
I'm asking a question.
Your street's concrete.
You got concrete?
My street,
I
my
got concrete.
subdivision was concrete.
I have concrete.
Mr. Buddy got
That's a
concrete.
That's a subdivision.
Hey, I
Eric,
still-
don't compare.
I still want-
Raw land is all asphalt, Eric.
I'm on
Asphalt.
your side with this deal.
Asphalt.
But I'm letting y'all know, I got concrete, I don't have a problem with it. I did have a problem. They replaced the concrete in front of my house. We had a manhole sunk, clank, clank, clank. The parish came out, fixed it. Guess what they fixed it with? Blacktop.
And the parish mayor should have called him. I don't know if he was mayor at the time. I don't know.
I don't. Oh, you were the parish. No, I'm kidding. I'm just.
I might have been.
But the concrete will last longer. But in the same note, if you got $1 million and you can fix 5 streets instead of 1, dude, I'd have to fix
You know,
the
we're
5.
we're going to be spending north of $5 million for a section of Wilson. Now, that's sewer lines, drainage lines, and it will be a better street, and it will last longer. But we can't afford to do concrete streets in the city of Harahan. So,
I would propose,
know, I'd like everybody to have a concrete street, I
Me
think.
too. But you can't
I don't-
afford it.
We really can't afford it. That's $5 million, and that's less than a mile.
if we want to concrete a street, I'd rather concrete Harris. Concrete a street that's highly traveled by all the citizens, not just the local residents. I would prefer to concrete Harris, Wilson, Colonial, all the way to the river, Hickory, those streets.
Well, Colonial to the river is a parish street.
Right, yeah, but,
Yeah,
yeah, no, I would rather it be concrete.
yes,
Yeah.
agreed. And River Road was just refinished a few years ago.
I'm letting y'all finish it up.
by the
I'm not
parish.
started late night, go ahead, keep it going.
And it's showing signs of deterioration. That's that groundwater.
Councilman, y'all done?
Yes, sir.
Councilman Ricks?
Oh,
So
everybody
I
have
would
a
like to say,
happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. And, you know, thanks to the chief and the fire chief for, you know, having the night out against crime and everybody, all employees participating from both of those departments, as well as everybody else who was nice enough to come out and support us. And I urge everyone, like Ms. Majin, to go out and vote on this term limit bill and on the presidential candidate of your choice, and have a great week.
Okay, I just want to, say, great night out against crime. Definitely thank you to the sheriff for bringing the helicopter in. It was really cool to see that helicopter come right in and land on the field, even though I was a little nervous when everybody on Hickory just all of a sudden came to a complete stop. But it was cool, it was fun to see. And again, Halloween will be out there. It's a big deal for Harahan. It's a great community event. Truly love it. Try to be safe, please, and, don't come back there and misbehave, because like I reiterated earlier, the police will have a happy presence back there. But if anything else, I know we all work up here really, really hard, so if you guys ever need anything, please never hesitate to call us or call City Hall. We will try to get it moving for you. Thank you very much.
Pay bills. Bills paid in September 2024. Total expenditures, $714,085.96. No executive session. Adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn by Councilman Chatelain. Second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yeah.